Good afternoon, everyone. It's the Activated One, New Bright 10, the Futuritarian. This video is going to be on the word enslavement and how it went from slave to enslavement. First thing you want to do is break down the word. When you break it down, the word enslavement, in means internal. So that's what the in means. When you see these words and they say in, en, in, that's short for internal. Especially when you're dealing with the mind. That's short for internal. So enslavement. The slave is a worker subconsciously or consciously working slave. And then the ment is short for mental. So the enslavement. Now this meant over a 60-year hidden agenda to enslave the minds of the copper-coated beings, to keep them from activation, to keep them from governing themselves. Because when you look at the Native Americans, what they do, they govern themselves, right? They have sovereignty. So when you're dealing with these casinos, you notice that the casinos are still open. Why is that? Why is the casino still open during a pandemic? They're going to say it's sovereignty, but the reason why they're really still open is they want to keep that money flowing. The money that you receive from the government or you receive from your job, they want it to go to the casinos. So that's why the casinos are open, dealing with a peace treaty and sovereignty also, but also dealing with the currency factor. So enslaving the minds of the people. Enslavement. And they've been doing this as far as dealing with just keeping everything rolling in this corporational state of mind. Because you have the corporational state of mind, and then you have the free state of mind, which a lot of people's not going to be able to tap into the free state of mind. But dealing with the word enslavement, internally slaving your mental from the inside out. From the inside out. Now, when you're dealing with slavery, because you had the slaves down south, you had the down south slaves, and then you had the carbon coated beings that were up north, right? They were taking ideas from both, from the south and the north, but they were really more focused on the physical labor down south and keeping them dumbed down and not tapping in to the Merkaba. So the carbon-coated beings that were living up north, it was more of a mental state. See, the south was physical, the north was mental. Enslavement. Taking ideas. They was taking ideas from the slaves down south also, but they was taking ideas from the ones up north. You know, tricking them into certain contracts. They would come with an invention or something that was next. And, you know, they would slowly, you know, that's how the beast works. Even if, okay, say like you had an invention, and this is how persistent mankind is. They're persistent. Say like you had an invention, right? And, you know, it's 1764. You got an invention. You living in New York, right? You don't sell out. You're like, I'm not selling out. I'm going to keep my patents, this and that. They're like, okay. So what they're going to do, they're going to make a note of that for their next generation. They're going to make a note of that through a corporal secret document. They're going to make a note of that. So they're going to go focus on, if you don't go, they're going to always focus on your son, your daughter, a family member that might receive the padding or the company next. They're really patient and persistent because I told y'all it's all about the future. It's not about the now. It's not about the now. Everybody, oh, it's about the now, because we're living in the now, this and that. Then why the so-called black race still going through what they go through? Because everything's futuristic. That's why mankind, when they take the time to do certain things, they do it strategically. So, okay, great-grandfather didn't sell out. Great-grandfather owns a paper company, right? He invented, I'm just using this as an example. Your grandfather invented, some paper that was built in with Velcro or something. Just using it as an example, right? Grandfather doesn't sell out. So 15, 20 years down the line, grandfather dies. Now you have the next in line dealing with the will. Whoever was in the will, you're dealing with the next in line. Now you have this brother or sister that's next in line that owns this company. So what does mankind do? They send somebody. Now that he's gone, they're really patient. They're going to send somebody else. They're going to offer you, oh, well, I know you guys your company's been doing well. You've been pushing, 2.5 million a year. We want to buy you out for, 8.5 million. We just want to buy you out, this and that. See, that's how they do it. That's how they're patient. Right. And that's the enslavement, the mental enslavement, the pushing the TV, the television, the radio. When you're dealing with these radio stations and you're dealing with all these coon ass niggas out here on the radio pushing this bullshit and helping them let them push it, affecting the minds of the children, the ones that's coming up next. See, because we're living in an age where you can't keep blaming the white man. Them days are done. I'm on social media. I see people talking about white privilege, white this, white that. You know why? Because white and black go hand in hand. They feed off each other's energy. It's the yin and the yang, and the elites sit back and laugh at this shit. Sitting back, oh well, the white man and the privilege, and they can just go get a job, this and that. Those days are done, because it's going to be about the activation. It's going to be about getting the right ones into the future. Enslaving the minds. That's why you're dealing with the radio station. Radio, broke down in my last video. Radio stations, the television, the radio, dealing with the raw frequency. The demented state, the linear, and then the zero at the end of radio. I'm going to repeat myself. The raw, the demented state, the linear to keep you away from the straight, and the zero at the end of radio is the circular, the hamster wheel. Keep you moving but not going nowhere. That's why it's called radio. They're trying to keep you away from the intel that's shooting down through the atmosphere. Just like when I broke down Parasite, something that I received the intel on Parasite again. Right? When you're dealing with parasites, pair is the two, which is the eyes and the ears, the two pairs, the one that do surveillance and recon. Then the Ra. What's the Ra? Right? The Ra represents the intel. RA, the Ra, pair Ra sights. The sight, which can be the sight, which is the eyes, and also the light. So that's what a parasite is. They're focused on the Ra's taking the light from them. The brightness. That's what a parasite is when you're dealing with a humanoid figure form. I'm not talking about the insects. I broke it down, the insects also. But this is dealing with enslavement. Over 60-year agenda, the secret 60-year agenda in enslavement, going from the inside out, being enslaved mentally. You know, you can do whatever you want to do, but when you look around, because when you're dealing with somebody activated, and when you're walking in society and you see, somebody's talking to you, and they're in woke stage, they're going to be either in three stages. They're either going to be in religion stage, the woke stage, or the conscious stage. Those are the only three they're going to be in. Each stage you have to live, because everything takes time in this three-dimensional realm. Each stage you have to live a moment of time in there to get to the activation stage. So internal, this been over a 60-year agenda for the enslavement, dealing with the alignments, dealing with December 21st, 2020. Because a lot of the people on the planet that's in alignment, they think that, like I said in my last video, that's why I'm breaking this down, because this day is going to come, this day is going to pass. December 21st is going to come, December 21st is going to pass. You're still going to be in quarantine, still going to be the coronavirus out here. Ain't nobody going to be flying. You're not going to be running through walls like the juggernaut. None of that. Because it takes time for that. This is a stepping stone. That's all it is. The enslavement, that's why they want to enslave you mentally. They have your neurotransmitters and everything in your mind being broke down through these radios, through this TV, this bullshit that they be playing on these radios. It's like these niggas do anything for money, but like I said, money ain't gonna save you in the future. Money, property, businesses is not going to save you in the future if the mind of your children ain't right. Be stuck in that 8 and stuck in that circle. And the ones going to shoot, the ones are going to shoot right past you and keep going further and further into the upper dimensions in the universe. Dealing with enslavement. The physical slave, and then you have the mental slave. Internally slaving your mental. That's why those who get the vaccine shot, then they're going to be inside you. They're going to be inside. Then they're going to be able really to activate the enslavement. So you're going to have to make a choice from here on out. What do you want to do? Do you want to be in the future or not? That's why it's always been about the future. Everybody want to represent, the ancestors and this and that. One thing about the ancestors, yeah, they lived, they did their thing, and they moved on. Right? The ascendants are the ones in the future. That's why mankind is in power right now, because they're always looking into the future. It's always been about the future. Ain't never been about the past. Going and reading these doctrines all up in the Bible. Brother on the internet talking about the damn Bible. You know what's so funny about the Bible? The word Bible ain't even in the Bible. Because the Bible is a form of population control to submission. Being submissive to your master. Always looking in the sky, wondering if somebody's going to come out and save you. Wondering if them chariots is going to open up and come down and beam you up, Scotty, like on Star Trek. It's not going to happen. Dealing with all these doctrines out here. That's why I go so hard on some of my videos, because when you're dealing with these copper-coated beings, these carbon coated beings on the planet, wonder why that the state that you're in right now, as far as being on the bottom of the barrel and being, disrespected by all these other races, the East Indians, the Arabians, even the Africans, because the Africans are not the Nubians. The Africans know that. They're not going to tell you that. And enslavement, internally slaving your mental. With what? Television, your job, being dependent on these other systems and races. Always, that's the thing about the black race, killing their own people. You got these young cats out here killing, and they dying, but that's fine because you have to serve a futuristic purpose. And now with the internet out, you have an option. There is no more excuses. Oh, I grew up in the hood. I grew up in the projects, and there was drugs outside. It's this and that. Da 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 da. There ain't no more excuses. Internet's out now. So if you want to choose that life, and then the police or some of these young ass Negroes blow your head off, and you a rapper or you a thug and you want to be a gangbanger, then not finna be emotional about that. And you spreading all this poison inside your neighborhood. You notice they don't never show the woman sitting in the house smoking with her son and her daughter walking around with feces in their diaper. Nothing in the refrigerator but a bottle, but a bucket of water, noodles, no protein, no nutrients. They don't show you that side of the life no more. Because they strip that. They always show some Negro running around the damn street with chains on his neck, riding on 28s and 24s, this and that, but they don't never show the downside no more. Because they don't want you to have a sense of a change of heart. So when they get their heads blow off, oh well. You have a choice. That's enslavement. Internally slaving your mental. And now once they go inside you, the activation switch will be easier. It's the activated one, New Brighton, the Futuritarian. If you like the way the world is, don't like, don't share, don't subscribe. Peace, Quasar.